Hi, I'm Coach Hallis, and welcome to bonus video 1 of the Keeping It Real vlog. I'm going to have 2 videos here, and these are between semester 1 and semester 2, where I'm planning for the quarter 3 project and the quarter 4 project. I've talked more about the quarter 3 project before, and I want to lean into the importance of doing the project yourself before you start it with your students. This is Jeff Robbins' war cry to everyone trying to get into project-based learning. It seems simple, but many people try to skip this step. They come up with an idea, they come up with a plan, and then they just want the kids to do it, but they haven't done it themselves. Or they want someone else to come in and support them and lead that part of the project. But until you've done it yourself, you're not going to experience all of the things that will help you see pitfalls and help you see opportunities and help you realize where there are going to be bottlenecks and all these sorts of things that are benefits that come from having the experience of doing the project yourself. So when it comes to quarter 3, like I've said before, we're going to be building dog houses, but we're also going to be writing pieces for the local animal shelter mostly. I decided to have my students do this in groups. They are not only going to be building the dog houses in groups of about 3 each, but they're also going to be writing in groups. And out of all 4 quarters, this is the only assignment where I have them writing collaboratively, not just peer reviewing each other's individual assignments, but actually working as a group to produce a piece of writing. And that comes organically out of the number of writing assignments that we authentically need for this. So, for example, the animal shelter has asked me to have my students write about the requirements for appropriate outdoor shelters for animals according to our local city ordinances. So they can write up something that's going to be visible on a website that we will create. We're going to create a wooden sign with laser cut QR codes that show the animal shelters Instagram and Facebook links. We will also create one to this digital web of resources that we're going to create. So on that, we'll have that, for example. We'll have something about different breeds and misconceptions and adoption procedures and things like that. We don't need 17 different articles like that, but we can come up with 4 or 5. And because there's an authentic need for 4 or 5, it would be a stretch to just have them write 17 for the sake of having 17 different kids writing individual pieces. So instead, they're going to work together on that. It'll also be the same groups that are building those dog houses. So somebody who's struggling with one piece, such as if they're struggling with their contributions to the writing, maybe they step up to the plate more when it comes to getting into the makerspace and doing some of the more hands-on things, and vice versa. So hopefully it's an opportunity for people to try things outside of their comfort zone and play to their strengths and show a diverse level of value. So we'll see how that plays out. But they are going to be writing in groups, and they're going to be working on these dog houses in groups. So having done myself, I have built dozens of dog houses before, but I have not done this as an English class before. And so one of the things that I wanted to see is, do I want to have a mini project before they get in there and start building full-scale dog houses? So I went through the process myself of making a mini project, a scale model of the doghouse. And this is what mine looks like. I am giving each of them, or they're going to end up with a color, and they're going to have to make a theme around the color that they are given. So I happen to have some blue spray paint, so I made my scale model blue. And I went with the theme. I came up with, okay, blue, sadness, depression, and I use that as an opportunity to make a piece that focuses on the National Suicide Prevention Initiative. That includes their phone number here, the lifeline, the It Gets Better push. So that's what I happen to do. I kind of made my theme around that for this one. By doing this myself, I was able to recognize a couple of things. So my big question was, will this be valuable? Is this something that I can justify having my students do, or would that be a waste of time for them? Because I don't want to waste time. I decided this would be a valuable piece for a couple of reasons. And I also realized certain parts of it wouldn't be valuable, so I can do that ahead of time in prep work so that we're just doing the things that are valuable to them. So why is it valuable? Because they get to learn skills and tools and have this kind of first draft or prototype. So learning certain tools that they're going to be able to learn how to use, saws, speed squares, the skills of measuring and marking and cutting things before they get to bigger, heavier, more expensive materials. So there's that. And then the prototyping or first draft phase for this, they'll get to see what their design looks like actually on the three-dimensional shape itself in the real world. And then if they want to make adjustments, or they want to change something, or oh, maybe those two colors don't look as good as I thought they would together. Maybe we need to put this thing on the side instead of on the front, or whatever it is. Maybe we want to make our door a little bit smaller than that because we don't like how this looks. There are all those opportunities that they can have through doing the scale model. Now, there are some things that don't translate. So, for example, I had shingles on this thing. That doesn't make a lot of sense on the scale model because the skill of attaching shingles requires the roof to be bigger than this. And like hammering into something doesn't really work on something this small. So I'm just going to have them spray paint their roof panels black. It's going to take a matter of seconds instead of trying to learn a skill on something that's not as conducive to that. And then we'll approach that differently. Also, there's going to be different joinery that they use for their base. So I've already actually cut out these base pieces for them. They're going to make these cuts on a 2x4, which is very different than cutting something this small and doing the milling to get these to where they are. Those aren't skills that are going to translate to what they're actually doing. So I was able to get some of that front-loaded work done ahead of them. So for these, I'll kind of have like kits of some things that are already ready to go so that they're just practicing the skills that are going to directly apply to their scale models. Then we can get into them learning the other skills firsthand. So this is, again, it's a 1:3 scale model. So I have this is 3 times shorter than or smaller than what a 3/4 inch 4x8 sheet of plywood is going to be. I have one of these ready for each group right now. This is my model where I've already drawn things out. So they're going to have to learn to measure and mark on theirs just like I have done and like what they're going to have to do on their full scale one. So then they will learn how to cut those pieces out. And once they've done that with cheaper and smaller scale pieces, then they'll be ready to make decisions about how they're going to move on to the big one. So that is where we are. We are going to launch our project in a matter of days this coming Tuesday. An officer from the animal shelter will be in. They will get a chance to meet with her, possibly multiple officers, and learn about the importance of what these dog houses are going to mean for their community. So that's where we are, and I will also be making a video for the plans that we have for Q4, so check that out too.